thank youans for being here.
Well, you know something about tributes, because I was recollecting that the last time you were part of one, you guys participated in a tribute to Waylon. And now a few years later, of course, Brad Paisley paid tribute to you through Old Alabama, and you guys were on that with him. And now you've got the hottest names in the industry paying tribute to you. What does that feel like?
It's awesome. It's like, they sound so damn good. They really do. It's a surprise, and I don't think we realize that people in the industry liked us as much as, I know I didn't.
I didn't care for us either.
That was great. Toby Keith was telling us, he said we got to hang out with him. You know, one thing this project did was give us an opportunity to sit down and have some quality time hanging out in a creative environment in the studio with these artists. Because meeting other artists, you say hi at the award show, you know, it's a quick hi, how you doing, and never really getting to know them. But sitting down with Toby, he said when he was in high school, he said we had a band, and so we played. He said we didn't learn Alabama singles. He said we learned Alabama albums. We did the whole album when it came out. And so what a compliment from you know, for somebody like Toby to tell us what, you know, how inspirational we were to him, and to get to hang out with him. And as all the other artists, Trisha, you're with, we big fans of Trisha, and go in the studio, and Mike Reed came in and played piano on Forever As Far As I Go, the song he wrote, and Trisha got to sing it, and we got to sing a little harmony with her. So we're like a bunch of kids in a candy store as far as hanging out with all these other artists. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
With an unmistakable sound, a voice like yours, Randy, I understand these artists were given the opportunity to do what they wanted to with these songs. They could make them their own. They could do them pretty true to the original. And I understand that Jason Aldean, when he opens up with Tennessee River, which is the first thing you hear on the album, said it would be sacrilegious if I didn't do it just like I grew up singing it.
Well, it's just it's a big deal, you know, sing. I don't know what part they took. You know, the way they do now. We used to do our stuff live, basically. I mean, we go in the studio and sing it live, then maybe Jeff and Teddy add some harmonies. But I don't know which tracks they took, because you know, like, could you do it one more time? Sing it one more time. But
just one more.
It was just live. It was I sang like we do it live, which is different every time.
One thing we really encouraged was the artists to do their own,
yeah,
not to do an Alabama clone, is to do your own interpretation of it. You know, like Jamey Johnson said that Homes in Alabama was the first song when his dad bought him a guitar. That's the first song that he learned to play on guitar. So, I mean, we found all these stories out as we go in and start getting ready to do this project that you didn't know, you know, you never know at the time the influence you had on other artists coming along. So it's good to hear these stories that people were learning your music, or, you know, using that as a kind of a measuring stick for their own career.
Well, that was the first single that really started to have some impact on the charts.
Mm-hmm.
But it was Tennessee River that really kind of catapulted you, wasn't it? Even though my home's in Alabama.
We still didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Because we were still working for tips. And we left, so we hung on to our job working for tips until July 12th, 1980.
That was at the Valley.
Tennessee
73 to 1980.
Yeah, Tennessee River was already a #1 record. We was like, well, we had one.
Not sure we want to give her a night job.
That's the truth. And then we left for Texas for 30 days. So,
when you're playing for tips, how much money are you making every night?
huh?
How much money were you making every night playing for tips?
Not enough.
It varied a good bit.
When we went to Myrtle Beach, we made $500 a week for the band. That's for the whole band. And so most of the time we would make that much in tips a week. If we didn't, then we couldn't afford to pay our rent, because the rent was very expensive in Myrtle Beach.
And that was 1973. This is the 40th anniversary of that. But there were some young boys who, in 1969, you had the idea you wanted to be in a band.
Well, we
That's
all
not the
did.
way I heard it.
What was
I mean,
it?
Wasn't it a talent contest and a Merle Haggard song?
yeah, but
Yep.
when we first got together, Jeff was the musician in Fort Payne. Me and Randy lived out on the mountain, and Randy's father had a guitar, but I didn't own a bass or anything, so we would drop by Jeff's because Jeff had a room full of equipment.
He's rich.
Yeah, he was rich. And he had a bass and a bass amp and a PA system, so me and Randy stopped in there one day and we said, hey, let's jam a little bit. So we, best of my recollection, we went back in Jeff's music room and sang for maybe an hour or so and said, hey, that sounds pretty good. Maybe we should start a band.
And we heard about that contest. And the prize was supposed to be $500 and a trip to the Grand Ole Opry.
Not to perform, just tickets to the show.
Tickets to the show.
Okay.
The turnout was slightly less than they expected, so all we got was gas money and tickets to the Opry.
Jack,
It took about 3 days to come up here because my daddy drove, and I don't think we had interstate then.
But the outfits we wore were borrowed from our cousins.
Yeah, right.
none of them fit us. Mine had sleeves on it this long, and I pushed them up. But
With them gorilla arms sticking out about that much.
But most people don't know, but I'm the original drummer of the band. You know, the very first show I was drummer. We had another cousin that played bass, and if it hadn't been for Jack Green and his band, the Jolly Green Giants, were the stars that night. And if his band hadn't let me use, Gene Seeley was on the show. If Jack's drummer hadn't let me use his drums, then we would never have had our first performance. But he told me, he said, "Sure, go ahead and play them." And they were so great to us. But anyway, that was.
And his band with the judges too is a little fact to throw in there.
40 years later, tonight, you're playing the Grand Ole Opry.
49 years.
And you had a jacket. What's the significance of that brown crushed velvet jacket that you wore the other night to the Opry when
I
you
just
played?
wanted to show off a little bit.
Randy, your mic fell off.
Huh?
Your microphone fell off. It's right here.
Oh.
You're sitting on it for one thing.
Are you sure?
No wonder it's on the
I'm sorry. He thought it was a rectal mic. I think.
It's a new digital technique we're trying.
It's on the wheel of my chair. No wonder it's run off.
That's right. They clipped it to your chest hair.
Sorry.
So that shouldn't- yeah.
I only have two. One of them's already gray.
But you told a story that night about this cool looking.
Well, yeah, that was a jacket that I wore to the Hall of Fame. But being I didn't want to wear it till it was something special, and I thought being out there was to me it was really special. I know I've told some of y'all this story, but my daddy wrote a letter to little Jimmy Dickens, and he actually believed that little Jimmy got the letter, and he actually sang "Sleeping at the Foot of the Bed" for him. Made a special dedication. So Opry, something really special for me. And if my daddy, I wish he could be here so he could go to see us play tonight.
Not only at the Opry House, but at the Ryman, where you're going to be for 2 shows. I mean, you sold out that first show, November 3rd show, immediately, and then a second show now on November 4th.
Well, good. I didn't know that, but that's a very this is so deep rooted. I mean, in our genetics about music and the Grand Ole Opry and stuff like that. It's like we was in Miami Saturday night, and all these shows have been so much fun. And I was telling the people, I said, me and Teddy would be out and picking cotton, and we start singing a song like, "Some glad morning when this life is o'er, I'll fly away." Well, the whole audience starts singing with us. And we're looking at one another, so Jeff starts playing, and it's like, okay, here we go. We're going to sing "I'll Fly Away." So it was amazing. And when we got to the chorus, the audience, however many there was there, was singing loud, and it's like, I can't believe this. That songs like that, that we grew up singing, and how they touch people, and then your own music that you're able to record, how it has touched people, and they sang it just as loud as they did "I'll Fly Away."
All our folks at home, cousins, aunts, uncles, and the whole family was musical. A lot of them probably more talented than we were, and we were just fortunate enough to be able to.
A lot of them just drunk a lot more than
Yeah.
And thought they was good.
But to be to have been had the success we've had over the years, still be able to live in our hometown there. This is a very special time. I think we're having the most fun now that we've ever had playing. There's no pressure. There's no label to try to please. There's no nobody putting pressure on us to try to change us and make us play some kind of music that we don't like. So to me, we're entertaining each other as much as entertaining the crowd now, so we're having fun.
That's kind of true.